Blockbuster deal that sends shockwaves across the whole NBA, with even the players talking in disbelief. Luka Doncic traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. Anthony Davis traded to the Dallas Mavericks. And what a blockbuster deal this was, in the full deal. Dallas Mavericks trade Luka Doncic, Markieff Morris, Maxi Kleber to the Los Angeles Lakers. Dallas Mavericks got Anthony Davis, Max Christie, a 2029 Lakers first rounder. And the Jazz are in the deal as well, get Hoods Gafano and 2 second-round picks in the deal. That one of them was Dallas's and the other Los Angeles Clippers. So what a blockbuster deal. And we never seen a trade with 2 top players in the league, in the top 15 minimum, top 10 even, especially Doncic. He's a top 2 to 5 player. What a deal this was. No one ever expected Luka Doncic to get traded, but that was obviously, they had enough of Luka Doncic because his contract was up after next season, so they had tons of time to negotiate a deal or see will have him as the face of the franchise. But obviously that wasn't the case, and now they ship him off to the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Lakers shipping off Anthony Davis in this deal, where obviously Anthony Davis, if he had big games, the Lakers are going to win. And if he didn't have big games, the Lakers usually lost most of those games. So this game, what a trade this is. Like I said, biggest and shocking trade in NBA history, especially a player of Luka Doncic's magnitude, where he's a top, arguably 2 to 5 player in that range. And Anthony Davis still, in my opinion, anywhere from that 8 to 15 range top player in the NBA. So Luka Doncic, we know he's been out a while with a calf injury, and they just were fed up with him, with his conditioning, preparing for games and things like that. And we even heard last season that some of his teammates, when he missed time, Doncic, they were happy that there was more ball movement and stuff. So it just was something brewing, I think, and that's why Luka Doncic got traded. So on the year for Doncic, another monster year it's been for him, even though we haven't seen him in the last month. 28.1 points a game, 8.3 rebounds, 7.8 assists, 2 steals, 3.4 threes a game, and 46% from the field. So like I said, Doncic having another MVP type of season. The points per game are definitely down from last year, but everything else is up to snuff. And that goes to the Los Angeles Lakers. I know him and LeBron, they're both ball handlers, but still, I think they could figure things out in that case, where Doncic, he's going to create more of his shot. But the thing with the Lakers here, they don't have a true big man. Rui Hachimura and Jackson Hayes now with the big men. So I think another trade could be on the way for this Laker team. But pretty much it's Luka Doncic and LeBron carrying a bunch of role players. It's going to be same thing it was with Anthony Davis and LeBron, but at least they had a big rebounder and rim protector, where obviously Doncic, he's not a good defensive player. One of the best offensive and overall plays in the league, obviously Doncic. But in terms of defense, him and LeBron, both those guys don't play defense. And you don't really have a true big man that could bang with guys like Nikola Jokic, obviously Wembanyama, if they got to see him in the playoffs. And now also even Anthony Davis, if they got to see him in the playoffs, they're going to have disadvantages covering those type of players on the Lakers as the playoffs are coming up in the next couple months here. But in terms of fantasy basketball, it doesn't matter where a player like Luka Doncic or Anthony Davis land. Those guys are going to put up numbers regardless. And Doncic, I think his scoring's going to go up even more, where it was him and Kyrie Irving over there, who are 2 similar players as well in Dallas. But obviously Kyrie, most nights he could get that 25, 30 points. With LeBron, it's a little tougher for him at times because of his age. And now to Markieff Morris, Maxi Kleber, those are just fillers and salary guys to fit into the deal. Maxi Kleber, he's out indefinitely, where he went under foot surgery a couple days ago, was Maxi Kleber. So obviously he's not going to have value right now, but he's a guy that can play powered forward center for this Lakers team. He'll be a backup. And Markieff Morris, he's barely played all season long, where at this point he's just holding on at the end of his career. So both those players not going to have fantasy value. But I think Kleber, if he does return in time before season's end, he could be a rotational player for this Lakers team, playing anywhere from that 15-20 minute range as a backup center on Los Angeles. Now to the Dallas side of things, you get Anthony Davis in the deal, and I think Anthony Davis, he fits in pretty well here with a shooter like Klay Thompson, even though I know his better shooting days are behind him, and obviously an elite point guard like Kyrie Irving, where he could be more the ball handler and facilitator now with Doncic not over there. So another monster season it's been for AD, 25.7 points a game, 11.9 boards, 3.4 assists, 1.3 steals, 2.1 blocks, and 52% from the field. So right now, I like the combination of Kyrie Irving Anthony Davis, one big man, one pure guard, point scorer, and then you got a three-point shooter like Klay Thompson, Quentin Grimes, he could hit the three ball. You got P.J. Washington, and now Davis, he could go to power forward. Well, I believe he'll be the power forward, and Daniel Gafford will be there at center, where Davis obviously prefers being a power forward more than a center, where he was a center the last couple seasons with the Los Angeles Lakers. I think Anthony Davis, like I said, he fits in well with this Dallas Maverick team, and now things are evened out a little bit more in their starting lineup, where most likely they'll go guy Kyrie, go Klay Thompson, P.J. Washington, Anthony Davis, Gafford, or you could even take P.J. Washington out, have him coming off the bench, and Quentin Grimes, you put in the starting lineup, a bunch of shooters, Kyrie and Davis. I think Anthony Davis, even though we know he's banged up right now with the abdominal injury, and he's going to be evaluated next week here, I think he fits in well with this Maverick team, and also I could see maybe his scoring go up a tad bit per game. And out of Christie, he was having a breakout season, was Max Christie this year with this Laker team, and I think he'll be a decent role player off the bench for this Mav team. On the year, 8.5 a game, 2.7 boards, 1.4 assists, 1.3 threes, and 44% from the field. So Christie, like I said, most likely will come off the bench as a swing man, could play shooting guard, could play small forward. And I think deeper leagues will only have fantasy value because they got a lot of firepower and good shooting now. Dallas, believe it or not, with this deal, it balances out the lineup just a little bit, where like Klay Thompson, he could go to the 2, or you even have Quentin Grimes back to the 2, Thompson to the 3, and you got even P.J. Washington coming off the bench to make your bench stronger, Christie off the bench as well. So I think Dallas, I know long-term this deal, they're going to lose on this one, obviously. But Anthony Davis, still an elite player. I know he's 31, Luka only 25, and you don't trade a generational talent like Luka Doncic at 25 years old. But it's the NBA, and obviously anything could happen, and we saw it with this Blockbuster deal. And now to the Jazz, they got Hood Scafano. Obviously, they just were in this deal to facilitate some salary and get 2 second-round picks, where they just want to stockpile picks as Utah and see if they can find diamonds in the rough in the draft in the next couple seasons. Plus the deal, Luka Doncic traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, Anthony Davis going to the Dallas Mavericks, and it's going to be interesting if these teams see each other in the playoffs here. And for fantasy basketball purposes, I think both players, it doesn't change everything. When you're a great player, doesn't matter where you go, your numbers are going to be the same or even get better. And actually, I could see that for both players, where I see the numbers could go up just a bit. So Blockbuster deal, biggest names traded together in a trade, I believe, in NBA history. And we'll see how it shakes out for the remainder of the 2025 season and beyond for the Los Angeles Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks.